Hi to all those who hear this video, in which I want to talk about my absolute lack of confidence and trust in the medical profession and all the physicians who practice it, practically all. There are some good people among them, and there are some open-minded ones too. A few open-minded ones, as we saw during the past 2 years. Some spoke out against those things that were happening in the name of medicine, but most of them did what I always knew that most physicians do. It must be added that both my parents were medical doctors, both. And I started to feel an absolute lack of trust in that profession when I was a teenager. And I decided that I would never become a doctor. I have a doctor's degree, but in social sciences. But in medicine, I could have never imagined to go near that profession. Why? First of all, I started to think that something was very wrong with it because they use methods and they prescribe drugs produced by the big pharmaceutical companies, drugs that were experimented on tortured and killed innocent beings. Many of those are much better than most humans. Monkeys, apes, who are very near us genetically. It is an outrageous crime to think that they can be used for anything, that they don't mind, that people don't mind whatever happens to them. I torture an individual of one species just to prolong a little the life of another one of another species, which is very near. But I don't mind because I only care about my own species. And of course they use cats and dogs. I was always, when I learned that when I was a very young girl, I decided that I would never go near a practitioner of this profession. And I asked my mother how she could choose that profession. And then she said, oh, she wouldn't have chosen it again. In her youth, she didn't realize what it was really all about. But somehow I didn't like the whole thing. And the other thing is that they lie to their patients too. It is not true that it is good what they do for the patient. They prescribe a drug, and that drug has side effects, and the patient needs another drug, and the whole thing only promotes the business of big pharma. And we have seen during the past 2 years, between 2020 and 2022, what has been happening in the name of medicine. Exactly what I have always thought. I think we should go back to natural remedies. We should use only natural herbs like these ones. Here I am by the side of the brook, and these plants, these simple, nice spring flowers, these are herbs at the same time. They are very good for salads, and it is very good for our health if we use these natural things. All my life I have done this. I never visited a medical doctor. And I lived in 2 European countries. In both there is this collectivist medicine, which is the worst, because it is a way of enslaving people. Everybody's walking around with these cards that they are given by the social security system, and with this they can go to the doctor. I never had it. I would never accept it. I don't want that kind of treatment. I don't want that care, that so-called care. I don't want society to care for me. I want society to leave me alone and let me do my creative work. This is why I went to social sciences, to do something creative and to try to find what we are, who we are, why are we here in this world. This is more important than just to try to cure a body. without knowing whether it's worth the effort. It is ridiculous. The important thing is to know first what we are doing, why we are doing what we are doing, and then decide whether it's worth doing. What doctors do, for instance. But most people don't think that. Most people don't realize. They think that their physical life is so important, and the doctor is such a good person because the doctor cures them and the doctor takes care of them. Oh, this is ridiculous, and I never believed in it. Only natural things, only natural herbs, only natural ways to try to heal if we have some problem, and to live as long as we live, and be happy to leave this world. It's not worth trying to cling to this life, this physical life, 1 year more or 2 years more, without any sense. Let's try to do something worthwhile while we are around here. And then it doesn't matter if we leave this world a little earlier.